Hey, this is the day the Lord has made. Been a while since I've seen you. As a matter of fact, we were just discussing, I think December the 24th, Christmas Eve was the last one of these podcasts that we put up for a lot of various reasons. One, my cameraman's lazy. No, no, I thank God for Jerry McRoberts doing what he does. But we both, of course, had holiday business and things like that. But we're back underway, and this is just a few days before the inauguration. This is a lot of great things going on. It's going to be hard to do and talk about everything that's been going on, but we'll try to put a few things together. And so I want to start off by saying just like a recap. We talked about uh, all the different things that have gone on with Israel, from Hamas to Hezbollah, the Houthis, all that goes on in there. I think with the last episodes we did, we were talking about what took place uh, in Syria. Uh, Abu Muhammad Yolani, he's a former terrorist. Matter of fact, he had a $10 million bounty on him by America, and the Assads had been in power for 54 years, I believe it was. His dad 30 and him 24. And brutal regime, civil war for 13 years. And in 2 weeks, they were put out of power. And most recently, what I've come to realize that Yusuf Erdogan, which is the president of Turkey, and Turkey's behind this. This is what Hamas and these other groups were to Iran. Uh, this group here is being sponsored by Turkey. And so, what's that got to do with anything, right? Well, one, that hasn't happened. Two, Syria, in that area, is a big player in the end time. You say, what's that got to do with now? We're going into all this great stuff. President's getting inaugurated. I believe it's next Monday on the 20th of January. And we're getting a great cabinet. We've got all these helpers coming in. We got Doge. We got the different things that's taking place. And the one thing that I like to encourage people to do is keep remembering that the world is not America, and America is not the world. America is in the world, but out of 8 billion people, it's got 330 million. And so we are an influencer in the world. We're considered the number one world power. But let me tell you something. China and Russia, their supersonic missiles and all that are literally running over. I think they're trying to get somebody now in there, head of Defense Department, to build more ships and do all that. But my point is that these are critical times. The Bible calls them perilous times. 2 Timothy chapter 3, the last days, perilous times will come. And so we're living in that. Most recently, last thing in 24, first thing in 25, California is on fire. They're trying to determine what it is. Well, is it Devin Newsom that's didn't take care of the primary functions? Is it the mayor? Is it the chief of police? All those things play into it. There's a lot of negligence there. But the mayor nor the governor or the people that voted for them calls the wind. The wind comes from God. The devil uses wind, but you remember when Jesus was on Galilee and the wind came up, he showed the wind who was boss. He told it to lay down and it did. So somehow between not being ready, and if you do understand what's went on there, I don't know how many years ago it's been, maybe a decade or two, that the environmentalists, the people that believe in global warming and want to protect the birds and the bunnies and the fish, they struck down things that would allow people to cut the underbrush out of the trees. And it was because of a migrating mouse. Well, now the reservoirs have been stopped. He blew up all 3 dams that allowed the water to be held and distributed in the cases it was needed. They had billions of dollars dedicated to build tributaries. What's the word I'm looking for? To hold the water, and they ain't built a new one in 10 years. And so, would you believe that in the middle of the fires, that they ran out of water? The hydrants actually didn't have water. Plus, they cut $18 million out of the budget. And what's ironic about that, Devin Newsom just had a meeting the other day. I know I'm sounding a little bit like a politician, but it wouldn't matter if their name was Darius or Caesar or whatever. These are leaders that are not doing their job. And they had a meeting to stand against Trump and raise $50 million. So they want to stop what is trying to be done, and they don't want to do nothing. And this time, it didn't just cost houses. I think there's already 25 people dead, 12,000 structures, thousands of people, 180,000 or something, I think it is, are displaced. Do you understand what that is? And they haven't been, it started a week ago Monday. And they haven't been able to, they're just starting. They use the word contain. That does not mean out. That means they've cut their fire lines in to where they can fight it. And so my point is, right when everybody, you remember when Trump was in last time, he was going along, sailing good. And then in March of 2020, what happened? There was an uncontrollable, supposedly, pandemic that came on the earth called COVID-19. And so a few million people died. They couldn't decide if it was because of a bat in Wuhan or if it was because just the way that it spread naturally or whatever. But anyway, it nearly destroyed this country. 140,000 businesses closed and millions of dollars of loss. We're still feeling. I was in a restaurant yesterday and I had to ask for salt shakers, salt and pepper. And the girls, my wife asked her, said, how come they don't just leave it on the table? Said that's an after effect of COVID. They started taking them off during COVID so people couldn't pass germs. And now lots of places still leave them off. It's crazy. My point is, governors, mayors, presidents, senators, congressmen, Supreme Courts are not in authority. God's in authority. When we read 2 Chronicles chapter 1, 7:14, it says, if my people are called by my name will humble themselves and pray to seek my face, forsake their wicked ways, I'll hear from heaven and heal their land. Now, verse 13 says, if I send a rain, if I send a flood, he's talking about these natural disasters, not the devil sends it. He said, if I send it, if my people are called by my name, everything that happens, they belong it to the devil. A lot of it, some of it is just flat out because people will not listen to the voice of God. The Old Testament was full of it, but they do ask questions once the actions of God start taking place. No point railing on nobody. There's more than this coming. Did I mention Happy New Year? See you next time.